Hey there, you guys. This week's theme is clearly on loving yourself because I am doing this challenge this week called the 5-Day Love Yourself Challenge. And I have several people in there and we're having a great time. We're doing homework. Yay for homework! I thought that was a thing of the past, but I was wrong. And when people turn it in, I get to see like these amazing insights into what they're going through and what kind of things they're experiencing with that day's subject. So today was on forgiveness. And of course, that's self-forgiveness. And it's something that I love to talk about because I've had to give myself a lot of it, right? I mean, it makes perfect sense. So I'm excited to dig into that today. I felt super inspired to just continue the conversation onto the podcast. But I wanted to do a little update on the podcast in the meantime. As you guys know, if you're following me, I've been releasing an episode on Tuesdays and Fridays for the last 3 months. I am about to get to 2,000 downloads, which is insane for me because I didn't feel like that goal was going to come this quickly. I tend to do things on my own terms, and it just felt like that was going to be, longer. So I'm just super happy to be able to report that. And also I noticed today, you guys, that I have 71 followers on Apple Podcast, and then I have 25 on Spotify. So those are the two big main ones that most people listen to. So that means that I'm almost to 100 followers, and I just think that's the greatest thing ever. So if you are loving this podcast, or maybe if you just like to hear a different perspective on a lot of the things that we deal with as creatives, definitely pass it on. I'm super enjoying just being able to talk to whomever you are. I would love to know who you are. So definitely send me a message at some point or tell me what you love about the podcast or what you would like to hear. That would be awesome. I'm super open to having that kind of conversation and being able to expand in all these ways with you guys. So without further ado, let's get started on today. But I just wanted to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. You guys are making it so easy to share and to help others on their healing journey. So thank you, thank you. All right, let's jump in. Hey friend, welcome to Deep Healing for Creative Entrepreneurs. My name is Aubrey Barr, and I am a subconscious release technique practitioner and photography business owner. I know you are sick of ending your day feeling overwhelmed and exhausted, and you are seeking a solution to help you feel creatively inspired and actively engaged in your business as well as personal life. In this podcast, we are going to dig into any limiting beliefs or subconscious programs that are keeping you in a space filled with anxiety and stress. This work is not a temporary solution for your life. No, this is a complete transformation. So grab your coffee or tea and let's start you on the road to healing. And let me just say, you can do this. You are worth it. And you are meant to thrive in life and business. So let's dig in. All right, so if you're new here, welcome. I don't normally do a long intro like that, but it seemed fitting for today, so there we go. But also, you may not know this, but I tend to talk a lot about grounding, about my gratitudes. I have a daily practice around gratitudes where I use it to connect myself first thing in the morning. You can find more about that. I believe it was in episode 11. I called it my morning routine, so it's pretty easy to find. But yeah, so I do those gratitudes, and then periodically through the day, I might do it again because I might feel like I'm not grounded, or it could be before a session with one of my clients or a recording for my program. It's just an excellent way for me to ground myself and to be open to my inspiration and intuition more. So I do it a lot, and I definitely advocate it for my clients and pretty much anyone that comes my way. So here you go. Here's your permission to stop what you're doing today and say some gratitudes, but not just say them, okay? Feel them. You have to attach that emotion to them in order to switch your vibration. So what do I mean about that? So all of the emotions that we can possibly feel in a day have a certain vibration to them. Okay, so the vibration of, let's say, anger is pretty low. Okay, it's like a low, kind of deeper vibration. Whereas the vibration of joy is much higher. It's much higher. It feels better in our bodies. If you can picture your body operating at a higher vibration, you might feel lighter. You might see more opportunities. If you can correlate that a little bit with emotions, that's what I see personally. If you look at it as a lower one, let's say shame. A lot of people who need to forgive themselves and are having a hard time doing so are feeling shame. Right? So if you can imagine what it was like last time you felt shame, or if you can even pick a memory and feel that, you might feel a little bit like sluggish and slow and low, right? It's just a more depressed kind of vibe, okay? So that's kind of what I mean by the emotions correlating with vibration. I do this really fun thing in my Facebook group, and I only do it once every other month or so, just depending on how much time I have. But there is actually a chart, you can Google it. I think it's called the Human Emotional Vibration Chart. And so since this is an audio podcast, I'll go ahead and describe a little bit to you what it is. It's basically like an upside down cone, upside down triangle, if you will. And it's very colorful. The bottom of it at the point is kind of like reddish, and then it goes into orange and yellow and green and blue and purple, right? As it goes up and gets bigger. And so when you look it up, you'll see that the lower emotions on the chart, like at an area where the cone is super contracted and red, you have like guilt and shame, apathy, grief, fear, desire, anger, pride. Those are all at the bottom, but they keep going up like it's a step more for each of them. And then at the very top, at the most expanded part of the cone, the higher vibrations are there. You have like enlightenment, joy, love, peace, right? All of those things that like, hey, I kind of want that, right? Like we can all say that, I think, and be truthful about it, that we all would like to live in that place. It just feels better. So as I did the discussion today around forgiveness, I realized there was this huge opportunity to release that shame that you've been dealing with. If you can do so, it's going to allow yourself to live in a higher vibration, because now we can feel those better emotions. Now, sometimes things that happen to you are very good, and the joy comes in regardless, and it's like, oh, I could be happy about this. And I know you guys know what I mean, but then over time, like, you might drop back down just because you never really resolved what was hanging on to you and what was kind of dragging you back down. So that's where subconscious programs come in, and the work that I do to help those release and lift. So yeah, like I was saying, occasionally I will post a little meme about this cone in my group, and I'll just ask people, where are you at? Like, what number's calling your name? What color? Which emotion? Whatever. Tell me where you're at. And then they'll tell me, and then I can either give them an affirmation to kind of help them level up. That's always my goal. Or see if there's a subconscious program that's kind of keeping them, like, let's say, in anger, or keeping them in fear. And if I can just give them one thing to work on, it's just very fulfilling for them and for me as well. But it just shows you how much those past stories and those limiting beliefs will keep you down. And I don't think it's a coincidence that people, when you consider like being depressed, let's say, that feels like it's a very low vibration and it's very sluggish, and it's kind of like you don't have the energy to get up. You don't have a lot of foresight into the future or opportunities or goals. That's how constrictive those kind of emotions can be. And I'm not saying depression as an emotion. It's obviously a diagnosis that I will not be giving anyone today, but it is associated a lot of times with some of these lower vibration emotions. So that's what I wanted to clarify for you. So anyway, in the group today, we decided that we were going to clear programs related to being deserving of forgiveness. And this is a huge one for me. Obviously, I'm human just like you guys. I have made some really big mistakes in my life. And I'm not talking about failures. That's a whole different lesson and a better one. But I mean real mistakes where I probably made a bad choice here and there more than once. So I can own that. And it's totally okay to be at a state where you're like, that's fine. That was in my past, whatever. But if you're just covering up in the moment and you actually are still harboring the guilt associated with that issue, it can definitely come back to bother you at any given time. So that's why it's so important to really dig down and grab those. So if you guys want to go check out that episode on the daily challenge, it's in my Facebook group and it's day 3 on forgiveness. There's a lot of clearing in there and there's some affirmations that we do. I'd absolutely love to have you in there. But if Facebook's not your thing, I totally get it. What I want to leave with you guys today is a little bit of hope that whatever you're dealing with, if it's a low vibration, if it's needing to give yourself forgiveness or needing to get into a higher state of vibrations and joy and love, all of that is available to you. It's just a matter of where you are in your path and if it's time to make big steps towards action or not. You should know that. I super encourage people to listen to their intuition and that gut response, and then also just based on what they hear, what they see, like when is it time for me to make a bigger step towards this healing? You may be there, and that's certainly up to you to decide. But I encourage you to reach out to me if you feel like this may be a good fit for you and the work that I do may help you to reach your goals and be able to heal on a deeper level. I would love to be a part of your story, like so many of you have let me be a part of, and it's been wonderful. I'll leave the link to the Facebook group and also to more information about my program, which is Deep Healing for the Creative Soul, and my email address in case you guys have questions. Have a wonderful day, you guys, and a fabulous weekend, and I'll see you again next week. I hope this podcast spoke to you in some way. If it did, please go ahead and leave me a review and subscribe so that I know you're enjoying what you hear. And further, if you know somebody else who owns their own creative business and struggles with anything that we spoke about, please pass this on, because it is my hope that we will be able to build a community of like-minded individuals who love on each other and appreciate the many facets that make our creative business so unique. And lastly, check out the show notes to find my free Facebook community and other useful links to work with me. All right, friend, see you soon.